What I want to do is I want to walk through a haircut. There's this whole revolt that's going on, and it's kind of inspired me to take a different direction in terms of what I'm doing with my cuts and how we're working with the cuts right now. Last season, I talked to you about umbrellas. And umbrellas have really become popular. A lot of people are working with umbrellas. I just got tired of horseshoe sections and wanted to create something a little bit different for you. So umbrellas are really cool, but now what I'm doing is combining umbrellas with triangles. 2 years ago, I started talking about triangles and working with triangular sections because they're very asymmetrical. They're wide at one area and then narrow at the other end. So here's what we did. What I did was I took a triangle section in that back area. Okay? This comes from an inspiration of convertible. Okay, and just lifting this triangle section up and cutting my length. So think 1960s shag going into that. Think inside out. So we cut the inside and then we cut the outside. But what's interesting is look at the sectioning. So it's all about the art of disconnection, but how we're disconnecting. It's the patterns that are making things more modern and fresh. So if you look at this, this would be, you could say, okay, Sam, well, that's a horseshoe section, but it's got a triangle inside of it. Okay, it's got that triangle inside of it. That's cool, all right? But what I did was, instead of me taking my umbrella from that point right there and making my circular umbrella section, I moved it forward into the triangle here and just kept the umbrella going around. Now, what that's going to do is that's going to put a little bit more layering right around that temple area there. Okay, back to the back. This has been pre-cut underneath, elevated up, and cut off square. Now, I want you to forget that triangle is there. Bypass that triangle. So just think of it, if this triangle wasn't there, it's just another section you're lifting up and cutting. So what do, Sam? Split that in half, take this side of it, cut it, take this side, cut it, and don't cut that. You're doing the same thing here. Look, there's another triangle, the temple area. Sam, yes? What's up with the triangles? Well, the triangles act as protectors. Okay? Because if you notice, whenever you lift something up, I just want to see if you're with me. Okay? Whenever you lift something up and you cut it, it gets very shaggy and light. When we do that behind the ear, it can get very weak. So the triangle, once you cut underneath, you let the triangle down, it fills back in. How cool is that? Then what you could do is you go in and you tweak it and you freehand it, do what you want with it, lift it back up, but do not connect this with that, or else you're back into trouble again with it being too light and airy. Say yes if you're with me so far. Okay, good. So now you go to the temple area, same thing. This area was lifted up and cut. Where's your guideline coming from, Sam? It's coming from this area all the way around like this. Bypass your triangles and cut underneath, elevation, vertical 90, and cutting horizontal 90. This acts as another protector because in the temple areas, people can get very, very weak in the temple areas. So by using this triangle, that fills back in that area. So you can go in, you can texturize that, freehand that, pinch and talk, do whatever you want in that area. Now I know that you're looking at this and going, that's very difficult sectioning. But my friends, once you have this section, it's a matter of bang, 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 and guess what? You're 50% of the haircut. Stop here, blow dry, and which is what I've done, and now I'm moving into this front area. So I'm gonna move into the top triangle, or excuse me, the umbrella, and the top triangle. All right, so how do you set up your umbrellas? Very simple. Last season I talked to you about that. You just simply take a triangle section, whether we choose to cut a fringe or not. That sets up where you're going to place that umbrella section. Okay? So for the sake of time, what I want you to get is the underneath you've seen. What I want you to watch is this top. Because for me right now, it's all about the top. I was talking to you about a revolt that's going on. Now watch the underneath. The revolt is going on. In other words, what are you saying, Sam? The kids are very restless right now. They're very dissatisfied with the government. They're very dissatisfied in terms of what's happening in their life. They're going to college, expecting they're going to come out and get a job, and they're not getting their jobs. Okay, so they're very restless. There's an Occupy movement that's going on. Last weekend I was in Montreal. Montreal is going through the same thing. The kids are banging on pots and pans. So what's that have to do with what you're doing, Sam? They can't afford to go in and get their hair cut, so what they're doing is they're picking up their crown areas and they're just chopping into them. So now the crown areas are popping more. Chrissy Hines back. Joan Jett is back in New York. Blondie's back in New York. So rock and roll is back, but it's back in a different sort of way. So what I'm doing is the focus area is these umbrellas, but it's the way we're cutting them in terms of what you're doing. So now look at how cool is that? Look at when I lift this up, can you see my triangle? Look at my triangle. Okay, see that triangle is, watch this, look how weak it is down here. That triangle, when I drop that triangle, you can see it fills this area back here. Use this technique when you layer your bobs out. Beautiful, you're protecting yourself behind the ear. If you're with me so far, say yes. Awesome, good. All right, so now I'm gonna take out a new shear that I've developed for you. It is a swivel shear. So I really want to please you in terms of what your needs are. A lot of you said, Sam, would you please come out with a swivel? Here it is. Still ergonomically correct for your thumb, but there's 5 positions in terms of when you can go and cut it. Remember, anytime we lift our elbow, that's a lot of years of lifting the elbow. Simply drop the elbow, and now you can go in and simply cut. All right? So I'm going to go through and lift my umbrella up, but this season I'm going to do this. Split the umbrella in half horizontally. Okay? So once we have that split half horizontally, I'm going to find my camera angle. Here we go, right there. That's a great shot. Okay, here we go. Now watch the angle Sam's cutting this season. So it's shorter at the crown. Okay, give me a little bit pan back. I want to see her head so they can see where it's coming from. Beautiful. Okay, so you can see I split it in half. It's shorter in the center of my umbrellas now. Why? Because that's the action and where we want it to pop. Go in and chunk into these things. Don't cut them really nice and clean, because you want them to pop, my friends. Now you're going to come through. Once you've done that, now come through, fan, still fanning a lot, going deep into it. Okay, if your favorite shear is a small shear, simply take your small shear, bring it on your index finger, slide down, and close. That will allow us to go very, very deep. Okay, we simply blow dry this. We're now working with a new product called Duo Shield, Loving Duo Shield. Duo Shield is a combination, imagine a cream and a gel working together. Okay, now look what happened on that umbrella. When I release that and we do this, check it out. Now I get that little pop. What's important in your umbrella and our umbrellas is that they do not connect underneath. Anytime we start to blend something through, we lose the sense of frothiness on top. So we're going to encourage you to understand that disconnection is seamless now. It's not as raw as it used to be in the past, meaning that it was, you said the word disconnect and clients would really freak out. Now you say the word detach, and I'm going to detach certain areas. Reason being is because we've discovered when we detach certain areas, you're going to get more movement, more texture. So we don't need to realize to focus so much on texturizing the hair. We let the detachment work for us. Now look what Sam did. Simply turn the chair. As you turn the chair, you're going to come through and your angle's going to go once again deep. So Sam, would you say that you're cutting a V inside of there? Absolutely right. That's exactly what I'm doing. V for Via. Viva la hair revolution. Okay, I'm going to look at you the way you're looking at me. I love you guys. Okay, remember, chunk into these things. Make sure we chunk into them. Now look at the crown just pop. Look how softly that just pops. And once again, it pops because it's not related to anything. It's not attached to anything. So Sam, why do you go with a V in the center in terms of these umbrellas, and why are you doing that? I'm doing that because, once again, my degree of length, my degree of shortness is inside. That's where I want it. So think about where you want the pop. That's the degree of shortness. From there, let it lead to long. Why long? The last thing I want to do is cut everything short like this and keep it nice and square. That shape's going to fall square. If I cut this, this is longer, and the front's going to have this nice sense of movement to it. If we cut this angle towards the back of the crown area, we're going to have another sense of movement to it. So that's why we're going and doing that. Let's stop thinking about blending so much. In order to create things, we have to loosen up our mindset in order to create things. And that's what's so key, my friends, is loosen up your mindset in terms of what you're doing. This haircut, the inspiration comes from Joan Jett. Okay, and if you think about Joan Jett, I know, the kids are going, who's Joan Jett? And I told these girls, what did you do last night? They Google image Joan Jett. And I told them, go look, check out. I said, I know you know, what's her name? Avril Lavigne. They know Avril Lavigne, but when I said Joan Jett and Blondie and Chrissy Hynde, they were like, who are they? I said, you need to Google them, okay? So it's really important that we get the youth to understand that inspiration in this industry comes from the past. It just moves forward. But the way it moves forward is what makes it work. Now watch this. Take your blending shear now and just go through and now create the pop to the personality. Okay, so you just go in and you create your pop to the personality. So I want the crown to just have a little bit more action to it, so I'm using the blending shear. If I didn't want to take out the maximum amount of that, then you might go in and weave with the blunt blade. What's really important is this, is I have to think of different things in terms of how to go in and approach things a little bit differently. And that's so key in terms of what we're doing and why we're doing it. The reason being is this, is if we keep doing things the same way, we're going to get the same results. If we hold on to the same beliefs, we're going to get the same results. Over the years, Sam has changed his beliefs. meaning that my belief system has changed, that I was taught everything had to blend. Well, that was then and this is now. Then I was taught everything had to have texture into it. And I thought, well, how do you recut that? So now with disconnection, we figured out a way where we can make it very seamless in terms of what it's doing. So here you're looking at this haircut. It was cut with integrity, meaning that we picked up our shears and we closed everything very blunt. We're not slicing into the hair so much. So we're relying on our pattern and our disconnection to make things happen for us. And for me, my friends, I gotta tell you, man, that's what it's about. It's about doing things in a different way. Sorry, I'm listening to this song. It just reminds me of where I grew up and Carlos Santana being a very close friend of mine, so I just got a little emotional there. But Carlos is a great man, and his music is a great source of inspiration for me. So the idea is this. What I want to do, if you look in the mirror, look how that's looking, guys. It's not a matter of everything and slicing and doing all of that. It's a matter of everything's being elevated vertically and cut horizontally with integrity and not relying so much on slicing, relying on the disconnection to really go in and create it for me. I want to maintain a little bit more length and longer pieces over her right eye. Let's go through and let's weave this with the blunt shear and backstroke on this. Now, you've seen me do this for years. I really believe this is going to become a classical technique in terms of going in and creating a degree of softness to it in terms of how it works. Now, I really believe that things need to have double identity. Things need to have what? Come on, guys, need to have what? Double identity. Let's get rid of the word versatility. And let's tell our clients, your haircut has double identity. They're going to look at you and go, what do you mean it has double identity, Sam? Well, here's what I'm going to teach you, my dear. I want you to tuck this behind your ear. I want you to skim your comb just on top of that. And let's make this look like it's a little bit different haircut, as you'll see some haircuts that come out. As a matter of fact, would you like to see some little bit of RokRevolt? Come on, guys. You want to see some RokRevolt? Awesome. All right, let's take a look at some looks here. RokRevolt, here coming at you. Your applause is not for me, it's for them. Come on. All right, so take a look at this, guys. Okay, you're looking at this and you're going, oh, I've seen this silhouette before, but watch this. It's a little bit different, meaning that it's not a horseshoe section. It is a triangle section that goes like this. It goes up and then it comes down. So it's not that clean horseshoe section. Why? Watch this. Because when you split this, look at what you get. So see what happens is by doing this, I'm throwing more length towards the back and more length towards the front. So it has, hi, my dear, how are you? So it's, once again, it's the idea of doing this and doing this, but do that in your sectioning. Now, here's what's cool about this. This personality can handle this. Not all personalities can. True or false? Okay, so you got to look at discover the personality. Look how she can go in and do this. Once again, multiple ways that you can comb this in terms of creating double identity. And I really want clients to have double identity. Why? Because their life is too busy right now. They don't have time to shampoo and blow dry their hair every single day, so they want to do things a little bit differently. So I'm just going to teach her, tuck that behind, bring this forward, and now she has a short little haircut. Okay, so it's got that identity, just a matter of tucking. Anytime you have fine hair, always take fine hair from the front, tuck it to the back. You're taking the weakest area and moving it to the thickest area. It's a great illusion to play with fine hair. And once again, your applause is not for me, but for these beautiful girls having the courage to allow me to share the passion with you. Thank you, Tate. Come on, let's go with Rhea. Not everybody wants their hair short. Okay, not everybody wants their hair short. So here we have something that's taken off. So the idea of working with a bi-level, but a very soft bi-level, not the hard bi-level that we used to do, and not so drastic in terms of it looking bi-level. So you create the illusion. Watch this now. I'm going to bring this out. Bring it out. Now look at, she's got her back to her long hair. What's the scoop on this one, Sam? This is almost like a 1970s cap cut. But it's got the umbrella inside of it and the triangle inside of it, just like I'm doing here. But once again, you create a different version of that. There's a triangle that's cut out underneath. That is a triangle section. What do you mean, Sam? Watch this, watch this. It is wide, turn your head there. It is wide here and narrow to the front. Most people go wide here and then they point the point to the back. So what Sam did was, over the ear, that's wide there, then it comes to a point here, pull this back, cut it. Now it's shorter over the ear, you took out the mass amount of hair over the ear to collapse the shape, and you left all the softness in the front. How cool is that? Do that to your long hair clients, so when they tuck it, they got a little something happening there, and they too can create a little bit more of a bi-level feel to it. And once again, crowns are popping, and they're saying, Sammy, you're ballsy to go in and have a lot of courage to go in and take crowns short again. Guys, I want to move on. For a long period of time, you're seeing things long and smooth. Watch what's going to be happening. You're going to see these kids in the street doing this, and we're going to pick it up. Once again, your applause is not for me, but for Rhea. Okay, Deanna. All right. Something going in and taking a bob and making a bob look a little bit different, but I want you to start thinking about shagging your bob. Shag them out. If you know what I mean by shag, say yes. Okay, if you're from the UK, I apologize to you. But the idea is this, is I want these bobs just to look like this, a little bit more narrow and shaggy down here and not so blunt and blocked off because it's too dated, it's too 80s. Let's lift them up, shag them out, put your umbrellas and your triangles inside, put your triangles at the temple and triangles just behind the ear, and boom, you're gonna be able to create this. This is very similar to what I'm doing now. And this has a lot of sense of versatility to it. Product is not an option, it is a necessity in terms of what we're doing with it and how we're working with it. And I sincerely hope that you like RokRevolt. All right, I'm gonna take Wax Blast now. Wax Blast and blow dryer, and to really get these shapes to pop. I've done this to a lot of them in the back. That's what we've been doing. Hit it with Wax Blast, come through, hit it. And remember, it's thinking a little bit different in terms of things looking a little bit more organic, a little bit more undone in terms of how we're working with them. Products of choice. We're taking argan oil and we're blending a lot at Redken with argan oil. And that's what I really like about it in terms of how we're doing with it, in terms of how we're working with it. Now look at, check this out. These are your two triangles right there. How cool is that? They pop out. Everything else underneath that is layered out, and you can see that, guys. Once again, your applause is not for me, but for these beautiful girls. They're allowing us to share the passion. Be right back. Come on, Orlando.